Luma and the Wind of Sumer. The land where it all begins. In the ages past, in the cradle of the world, ancient Sumer rose between two great rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. Their waters brought life to a wide, fertile valley. At sunrise, golden light bathed the land and a mighty mud-brick ziggurat stood tall, like a staircase reaching toward the gods. High on a clay rooftop stood 9-year-old Luma. Bronze skin, large dark eyes full of wonder, long black hair tied with a single clay bead. She closed her eyes and let the morning breeze speak to her, whispering secrets only the wind knew. One morning Luma stood at the foot of the enormous ziggurat. Its high mud-brick walls rose like silent mountains. A strange, low hum came from the stone, soft at first, then stronger. She pressed her ear to the warm wall and listened. Sunlight carved deep shadows across the textured bricks. Dust floated in the golden beams like tiny stars. The temple was calling her. Luma began to climb the giant steps alone. Each stair felt huge beneath her small feet. The wind pulled at her tunic and played with her hair. Far below, rivers sparkled and palm trees swayed. The higher she went, the tinier she looked against the endless blue sky. Yet with every step her brave heart grew bigger. At last she reached the summit and knelt on the sacred stone. Her fingers found a deep crack running through it. The wind rushed inside the fissure, singing, swirling dust into spirals. Luma's eyes widened in sudden understanding. The wind was not just moving, it was speaking. A message only she could hear. Luma closed her eyes again, this time listening with everything she had. The northern wind swirled faster around her small body. Her hair danced wildly, her tunic fluttered like wings. The sky behind her turned heavy and gray. Storm clouds gathered like dark soldiers on the horizon. She stayed perfectly still, decoding the wind's urgent song. Luma remembered her mother Pwab's quiet teaching. The world always speaks, child, if we are patient enough to hear. Now Luma watched the palms bend and the clouds race below. Everything looked different, clearer, wiser. Listening was not only hearing sounds, it was understanding what the world needed her to know. From the high terrace she looked down at Sumer. Fragile thatched roofs, golden grain fields, the busy market full of life. Black clouds rolled in fast, swallowing the light. A great storm was coming, fierce and hungry. Luma's face became strong and determined. She had to warn everyone, right now. Inside the shadowy sanctum of the ziggurat, Luma stood before the priests. Bearded men in long ceremonial robes leaned forward to hear her. Though she was small, her voice rang clear and sure. They listened, first surprised, then believing. A child had heard the warning they had missed. The temple tablets and incense smoke watched in silence. Luma ran through the crowded market, shouting and waving her arms. Merchants quickly rolled colorful rugs and tied down heavy clay jars. Voices rose in alarm, then in action. Dust swirled, voices called, hands moved fast. The whole city felt the child's urgent message. Everyone worked together because one girl had listened. Out beyond the city walls, farmers secured palm trees with strong ropes. They covered precious grain stores against the coming rain. Luma helped an old farmer tie the last bundle. He looked at her with tired, grateful eyes. The first wild gusts arrived, bending the grass. But the fields and the people were ready. The sky split open. Huge raindrops hammered the city walls. Powerful wind roared, lightning flashed across the dark. The ziggurat stood like a giant shadow in the storm. Yet the ropes held, the roof stayed, the grain was safe. Sumer endured because they had listened. At the summit, rainwater poured down the steps like shining waterfalls. The crack in the stone shivered under the force, but did not widen. The ancient mud bricks stood firm against the deluge. Below, the city lights flickered dimly, but safely. The temple had protected its people once again. When the storm finally passed, golden sunlight broke through. Clouds edged with fire framed the washed sky. Puddles in the streets reflected the new morning. People stepped outside, wet, smiling, relieved. Sumer felt clean, strong, and alive once more. In the bright city square, the high priest placed a gentle hand on Luma's shoulder. Beside her stood her mother Pwabi, holding her hand tightly, eyes shining with pride. All around, Sumerians looked at the little girl with respect and wonder. She had not fought with swords or shouted the loudest. She had simply listened, really listened. And because she did, the wind became her teacher, and the city was saved.